Hey guys, Urban Combat Survivor here. This is Safe Zone videos. I'm going to do this one, Safe Zones 103. This one is just going to entail the partitioning off of your safe zone. What you're going to have to do, what my plan is anyway, is you're going to have to create a buffer zone around the edges of your safe zone. This is going to allow for a lot more notice for your security, anybody keeping watch, that kind of thing. And what I suggest, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick delineations that that make sense, that are an obvious visible cue to anybody trying to come that way that this area is closed. So any streets coming through, of course, are going to be blocked off pretty quickly. Any cars that are not burned, or even ones that are going to be dragged across intersections and that kind of thing. Anybody coming in is going to have to do so either by foot or with permission at planned entry points that still have movable vehicles. So anybody that's looking to come in and trade any larger bulk or anything like that can still get in. What I'm going to be using in my area is I'm going to use natural visible markers. If you have parks, cemeteries, baseball fields, football fields, anything like that, those things are going to afford you an easily visible demarcation of where your zone begins and ends. Once you kind of establish your safe zone, people are going to pretty quickly learn that they're not allowed to cross these barriers. At least not without permission. So with that is going to come a couple of things that you may not have considered. Line of sight is something that's, right now the city or local county or whatever, wherever you live, they kind of maintain a lot of stuff. Any fields that are maintained by whatever government level is in your area, they're not going to be cut anymore. Somebody's going to have to cut them, because you can't just let them grow. Even if you're not going to use those for planting crop, even in times when you're going to let them go fallow, you can't just leave them overgrow, because if you do, anyone trying to come in, man, all I got to do is get to that grass and they're covered. Concealed, not covered. And any concealed approach into your safe zone is going to have a detrimental effect to the safety of your safe zone. So, maybe start thinking about demarcation lines, boundaries that you're going to have for your safe zone. I've got mine kind of mapped out in 3 to 5 levels, depending on how you personally want to define them. And as I've said in a couple of my other videos, I'm going to do things kind of in a ring effect, like an onion. So I'm going to keep expanding. As far as I have the capability to expand my safe zone, I'm going to do. I'm also going to have patrols out beyond my borders, beyond all of my barrier zones. Because you need to know about threats before they show up. You can't just let things be and expect that nobody's going to be trying to come take what you have. If you establish a safe area, it's going to be a target. So you're going to have security. That means you're going to have to watch every one of your boundaries. You're going to have people that's their job. They're going to have to watch that. And this actually goes to something I've been going back and forth with a couple people about, particularly shall not be infringed. Some people are going to just have to have the job of security. That means other people are going to have to step up and provide the things that they can't do for themselves because their full-time job is security. There's not going to have to be many full-time security. People can, rotate in and out pretty quickly if they have to. But there's still going to have to be some people whose job it is to keep things secure. And those people just aren't going to have the time to grow or raise their own food, not full time. So, they don't get a free ride, but they're also providing a service. Think of it like paying the cops. Think of it like paying soldiers. You know, they're doing it full time. They're gonna have to be provided for in some manner. So think about your area. Maybe hit Google Earth and get a down view of where you're planning on being, and think about what natural boundaries you can kind of move towards. You can expand your safe zone until you filled inside those boundaries. That's my plan anyway. So Safe Zones 103 is about having a clear plan in your head for boundaries on multiple stages. As I said in my other videos, at first it's just going to be your home. It's just going to be your property. How quickly you can expand beyond that is really going to depend on your individual situation and how much cooperation you're going to get from those around you. But either way, I think the majority of people are going to hop on board pretty quickly if they realize you got a plan and that you've been preparing for this, that you've been thinking about this. So I think it's not going to be that hard to convince people when they're all in the panic state. Beyond that, making sure that you have the resources. I want to clarify something here. A lot of people have made comments about, feeding people, feeding other people just because they're in your safe area. I've made this clear, I thought, in a couple of videos, so I'm going to make it clear here again. My rule is I can't feed anybody. If I haven't made provision for you long before anything ever went down, I can't feed you, and that's going to be one of the things that's going to have to be clear. I can extend safety. I can allow you into the extended safety of my safe zone. But food you're going to have to work out on your own. Heat, you're going to have to work out on your own. I can, of course, provide as much help as I can do without putting myself at any risk. But I'm not going to starve myself in order to feed somebody else. That's not going to happen. So if you're discarding the concept of safe zones just because you think this is some kind of socialist mindset, you're making a big mistake. People need numbers. You're not going to be able to hold it all off alone, man. You're not going to be some lone wolf friggin' sniper out there able to hold off the masses. If people realize you got shit, they're going to come for it. And if you're by yourself, they're going to get it. They're going to get it. If you have numbers, you can set up a lot more security. And there's going to be compromises in that no matter who you are. So yeah, your neighbors may not have put up enough food, but you can certainly set up security and set up groups that are going to foray out and see what they can find. People that hit the supermarkets at first, if you act quickly enough, they're going to take the expensive shit. They're going to take the shit they want from the supermarkets. They're not going to be taking dried beans and rice right away. That's not going to happen. Those people, if they thought long term, they wouldn't have three days to a week's worth of food in their house in the first place. So they're not going to be thinking about those long-term items, those staples. So if you act pretty quickly, map out now, man. Where are those supermarkets? Every supermarket in your area. If you can get to them quickly enough, you can get the staple items. All the meat and shit like that, that's going to be gone. It doesn't matter, it's going to rot anyway. But the items that you can put up, do it. And if you can gather up neighbors and you can get in there and get out, a couple of pickup truck loads, a couple of SUV loads, that's going to go a long way towards helping to ease the food problem in order to establish security that much better. So, I hope you guys aren't out there discarding, you guys that are making comments and sending me messages about, how you're not gonna feed, this guy or that guy, and it seems like it's too much of a drain on your resources. I hope you're considering the reality that you need numbers. So, look, what do I have? What do I need? And how do I get there? What you're going to have is a shitload of people in your area that are pretty quickly going to be looking at you for an answer. What you need to do is establish security and feed them. Now you got to figure out how you get there. For me, I know where every supermarket within a mile of my house is. And trust me, I'm going to be hitting them. And I'm going to be marshaling folks from my area pretty damn quickly. Once things establish, settle enough that there's not current riots going on. I'm going to be marshaling folks to go out for food, and let me tell you, anybody who doesn't want to be involved in that effort, they're gonna be pretty upset when they don't get any of the food. So yeah, I'm putting food up, and I understand that I can only put up enough for me and mine. But that doesn't mean that I can't have a plan for provisioning, at least for a short time, those around me so that other plans can be made for them. Remember, you're not going to make it alone. People are going to survive, and they're going to have guns. And when they're hungry, they're going to come for what you got. So, so Safe Zones 103. Urban Combat Survivor, signing off.